Welcome back, America. Our next guest has served on the House Agriculture Committee for a long time, and considering beer is made with a lot of crops like barley, corn, rye, wheat, oats, and more, I feel like it's only appropriate to start this conversation off on a woke note. Conservative backlash sparked following Anheuser-Busch's partnership between their own Bud Light product and trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. And just last Friday, the parent company decided to release a new pro-America Budweiser advertisement featuring their very famous Clydesdale horse. And now consumers are saying that you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Here to react to this is Georgia Congressman Austin Scott returning to the show. Congressman, great to have you back, sir.
Hey, Amanda, glad to be back. And look, I've been an Anheuser-Busch guy for a long, long time, up to and until a couple of weeks ago. Whether it was Bud Long Necks when I was in college or Bud Lights as I got a little older. And then, Amber Box as I developed more of a taste for the better beer. And I'll tell you this, I haven't bought an Anheuser-Busch product since they did it, and I don't intend to buy another one for a long time. And those of us who are parents who realize the threat of this wokeness that's being pushed down into our kids' lives and everything from their cartoons to their classrooms has got to be stopped. And so Anheuser-Busch can go back and pretend that they're the all-American company now, but the fact of the matter is they did what they did. They're promoting a lifestyle that's very dangerous for our children. And, this is not okay. And the CEO of Anheuser-Busch needs to stand up and apologize for what they did. And they need to stop peddling this influence on our children.
Sir, I wanted to dig in on that because the ad that they released, in the ad they said, this is a story bigger than beer. This is a story about the American spirit. They are right that this is about the American spirit. It's much bigger than beer.
That's right.
But I don't think that they quite understand what it is about.
No, I don't. Look, I've got a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I can tell you raising a kid today is very different than it was when I was raising my 23-year-old. And you literally have to watch the cartoons today because of what Disney is doing and embedding a sexual narrative into the cartoons. I don't know if Scooby-Doo had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I really don't care. I just wanted to watch the cartoon. I just want my kids to be able to watch cartoons. I don't understand why all of this stuff is being pushed down into our kids and our classrooms, whether it's through the cartoons or whether it's through what Budweiser has done here, Anheuser-Busch. And so you have to stop pretending that this is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay for biological men to go out there and beat up on biological women like they're doing in sports. This is not okay. These people are bullies and they need to be stopped. And for Anheuser-Busch to embrace this bullying that's going on is ridiculous.
Such an important dynamic. So many heads I know in our audience nodding right now in agreement with you, sir. I want to turn to another issue that you have been a leader on for a long time, the issue of China. Today, some really significant evidence. The FBI indicted some Chinese officials for opening up an illegal police depot in New York City. You were down to the border recently. There's all this talk about all the Chinese nationals now suddenly coming across the border. Can you tell us a little bit about what you learned down at the border, about what's happening with those Chinese nationals and why they're coming into the country?
Well, first, let me say this. I think illegals coming from China, I believe that is the third largest block of illegal immigrants inside the United States right now. So if you're the director of national intelligence of China, you simply get a whole bunch of 14-day travel visas from China into Mexico. You fly your people from China to Mexico. If they do get caught at the border, we release them in 3 days back into the general population of the United States. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it's all being done. Again, we talked about the wokeness a little bit, but if you stop them and you sent them back to China, the Democratic Party would call you racist and anti-Asian for returning them back to China when they're coming into this country to actually hurt us, John. They don't care what color you are. They don't care if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian. They don't care what color you are. If they're coming here from China illegally, we should assume with everything going on in the world today that they're coming into the United States of America to hurt U.S. citizens regardless of their race. And unfortunately, because of the Biden administration, them buying into this whole woke nonsense, if you say anything about it, they call you racist. Well, they're going to have to just call us racist because the right thing to do is to send them back to China.
Yeah. And the last number I heard pertaining to that was 700, an increase of 700% of Chinese nationals coming across our southern border. So that is a national security issue. Right. And there's another. I know. Another national security issue, or so we were told. I wanted to ask you about the activity of some of your colleagues on Capitol Hill. John had Congressman Jim Jordan on the show the end of last week and was discussing with him possible ties between the Biden campaign and the security letter that was written, co-signed by 51 national security experts, attesting to the fact that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. Does this surprise you that 51 of these people who have long, storied, formerly reputable careers in national security were willing to put their reputations on the line?
Not with everything that I saw done to make Joe Biden the president of the United States. I mean, the whole Russia hoax, everything they did to Donald Trump when he was president of the United States, the double standard, Amanda, is what's destroying our political system in this country. If you think about what there is on Joe Biden right now, just the number of family limited partnerships, just the sheer increase in his net worth over the last several years. If you look at the conduct of his son with everything that has been exposed, why would he be of any value to any corporation anywhere in the world unless it was for access to his father? You simply can't have someone who's doing drugs like that, taking pictures of it, and doing all the things with prostitutes that he was doing, and that person be of great value to a corporation. So his only selling point was his access to his dad. And look at their net worth. And they were paid very handsomely for his access to his father. And you look at that in direct contrast to the way, President Trump was treated. President Trump's probably the only guy to go into office and leave worth less money than he was when he got there. So it's a double standard. If we give Jim and Jamie Comer the time to do their job, I think that they will do things in a very methodical manner, a manner that's probably not moving, fast enough for those of us who are conservative, but a manner in which hopefully the mainstream media will not be able to deny all the facts that Jamie and Jim are able to expose for the general public. And that's what we've got to have. We can talk about it all we want to among the conservative circles, but we have to expose it in such a manner that even the people who like Joe Biden cannot deny the problem of the business relationships that occurred there. Was there a cover up with the laptop? Absolutely. No. I mean, would Joe Biden be the president of the United States if there hadn't been the laptop cover up? I doubt it. Would inflation be where it is if there hadn't been the laptop cover up? I doubt it. We're paying a price right now for the double standard in journalism. And that's why I think it's so important, Amanda and John, that people like you are out there willing to tell the truth.
Thank you, sir. A lot of discussion about security clearances after a Massachusetts National Guardsman got access to some of the most important secrets that their Joint Chiefs of Staff had about the war. There's also a question about whether these 51 should keep their national security clearances, given that they interfered in an election. Is there going to be a reckoning in the House Intelligence Committee looking at the whole security apparatus, making sure that maybe secrets are too widely distributed?
Oh, absolutely. There's got to be, John. Look, most Americans recognize that there are things that have to be done that cannot be discussed. If you're going into a ball game, you don't give the other team your playbook. And there are certain things that have to be kept behind closed doors. Americans on both sides understand that. The unfortunate thing was the politicization of the Intel Committee in the House over the last couple of years. That's gone because we have new leadership and on that Intel Committee, and I think the Intel Committee is working pretty well in a nonpartisan manner. But the idea that an E3 would have from the National Guard would have access to that information, that's concerning to me. This is an extremely young individual that had access to extremely highly classified information. I wish it had not been released, and he's going to be held accountable for it. But I'll tell you this: the other people in that room need to be held accountable for it too. Right. Not just him. Yep. So if it goes up to a general that made the mistake, then that general needs to be dismissed as well.
That's a great point, Congressman. We are so grateful for your time today, as we always are. We appreciate you being here today. And on that note, John and we're coming up on a commercial break. We'll be diving deeper into the latest issues in Bragg versus Trump political showdown. Be right back.